Some points north, east, west and south.
Cloudy in the west.
And in headlines, the NZBC News Service.
Good evening, citizens.
Can you give it a tweak?
Coming up on tonight's broadcast, aliens in Rotorua.
UFOs.
Star Kids.
Abduction.
Wallace Chapman investigates UFOs and anal probes.
Have you ever been probed yourself?
Hold on to your Ribena as we celebrate New Zealand's greatest PR disasters.
As managers of companies, they should be sacked.
And the F word, the C word, tits, cocks and balls. Kia ora, good evening. Apparently, 64% of Americans believe in aliens and alien contact. And if a recent local conference on ufology is anything to go by, there's no shortage of believers here in New Zealand. I couldn't actually attend the conference myself because I was at a naturist convention on Pakatoa, so we sent EML special correspondent Wallace Chapman to infiltrate this extraordinary extraterrestrial expo.
Rotorua, New Zealand's only steam-powered city. Home of the righteous and the wicked. Sinful, sulphurous, and just a little depressing. Its name is Māori for tourism gone mad. And why not? This is a city renowned for its sightseeing, and it's not just geysers and mud pools. The walking tour of famous police orgy locations is as fascinating as it is informative. But I'm not in Rotorua for tourism. I'm here on serious business. Very serious business. G'day, Wallace Chapman for the conference, the UFO conference.
Yep, Wallace Chapman.
For the 2 days?
Yep, that's valid for both days.
Future Perspectives. It may sound like a right-wing think tank, but it's actually a harmless hooey about UFOs and aliens. This is the place to come if you believe you've been contacted, abducted, or even probed by aliens. And there's no doubt, these people believe.
UFOs.
Star Kids.
The ionosphere.
Energies.
Abduction.
Energy fields.
Metallurgical.
Shirley MacLaine.
Nerve cells.
Close encounter.
Rectal implants.
Indigos.
Asians.
X-ray diffraction.
Rainbows.
Deep space.
The ones with the bald head and big black eyes.
I don't know if it's plain or not, Dave. There's a few lights there.
According to some speakers at the conference, millions of Earthlings have actually been abducted by aliens. Are you abductees yourself, or...?
No, no.
Are you an abductee?
No, I'm not.
Oh, not that I know of, no.
So you're not an abductee yourself, or...?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
No, I don't think so.
Sorry, I don't give interviews.
It has to be said, the level of suspicion and paranoia at Future Perspectives was worse than an Arab-Israeli summit. Possibly because of a fear of the media, or maybe it's just this music. That's better, and just lose the visual effects. There you go.
This is totally new to me and just blown away.
Have you been on a craft?
No, no.
You do believe in aliens?
Yes, I do, I do.
Well, I've had a personal UFO experience many years ago.
Have you? Your favourite alien movie?
No, I don't watch movies. I read books more than I think about Asians.
This experience was very, very traumatic for me because I felt as if we were going to be abducted.
But I saw this thing over Auckland one night, probably about 11 o'clock at night time, and it went from one side of like the horizon to the other in probably about 5 seconds.
Really?
You know, and that's...
Good grief. Well, you'd know speed too because you're wearing a racing jacket, so you'd know. Have you seen an alien?
No, but I may have seen a transgenic type person floating about.
What do you think? I mean, do you think there are aliens amongst us as well on Earth?
I think it's quite feasible, but I haven't knowingly met any.
Yeah, and also too, how would you spot them as well? You know.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It was just a person who had a very clear, a very white complexion, scanty hair.
Pakia.
Yeah, well, yes, basically European. And he just looked most unusual.
Shortly after this interview, conference organisers ordered us to stop shooting and prohibited us from talking to the civilians. Luckily, we were allowed to film 2 UFO VIPs. Cue cheerful music. Dr. Roger Lear is a world expert in the surgical removal of alien probes. He reckons heaps of us have had bits and pieces stuck into us by nosy aliens.
We feel in general about 15% of the abductee population may have some sort of a device in them.
That many?
That many, but that's not really that many, because if you look at regular academic earth science, when we want to know something about bears or their hibernation habits, what percentage of bears do we tag? About 15%.
In terms of preconceptions as well, I was very surprised to hear in your lecture that probes, implants, were placed mainly in the toe, because I always assumed that'd be rectal.
Pardon me laughing. I think rectal implants are for television.
Have you ever been probed yourself?
Not that I know of. Have you?
I hadn't had the pleasure, but probes, rectal or otherwise, were not the hot topic at this conference. The really hot topic was that old chestnut, alien abductions. Sadly, we weren't allowed to film the most amazing address at the conference. But as this animated reenactment shows, the speaker in question gave her account of multiple abductions dating back to childhood and a long history of intimate contact with alien beings. She informed a captive audience about craft etiquette, how to act on the spacecraft when abducted. For example, don't try to open a window. If you want to look outside the flying saucer, a window will magically appear. Remember, their metal is not like our metal. There are no lifts inside the craft, only shafts of light with no floors. Children lucky enough to be abducted won't need their pencil cases because all lessons are telepathic. And you should brush up on your geometry, as geometric shapes magically projected as holograms are all the rage off-world. It was a lot to take in, and kind of scary, but the experts seem to agree. The aliens are here to educate and to improve us, a bit like the way your girlfriend tries to change you. According to Mary Rodwell, Alien Special Ed is producing a legion of star kids. They are humans who've been abducted and genetically upgraded by the aliens.
Tell us about this concept of star kids, star children. What are they? You've done a bit of research into this.
You know, there's lots of terms, star kids, indigos, crystals, rainbows. What's interesting is metaphysicians are already giving them names and saying there's these amazing children being born on the planet right now, and they're showing high intelligence, often creative, intuitive intelligence. They seem to be able to see beyond the norm. Energy fields, for example, they seem to be able to see them. They seem to be aware of non-physical energies, you know, we'd call angels or spirit guides or something like that. They also see our little grey beings, the ones with the bald head and big black eyes.
So what special abilities do star kids have?
They can open a bud of a flower with their mind. They can actually change DNA in a petri dish, and it's been filmed with their mind. There are others in Mexico, over 1,000 now, that can read or see with various parts of their body, literally read a newspaper through their feet.
If you wanted to become a star kid, if you wanted to be picked up by the aliens, how would you bring on an abduction?
Well, I wouldn't say it's an abduction anyway. It's a contact, and contact is thought and its frequency. So all you need to do is actually think to them. Look, this is something I want to experience, I want to understand. And Dr. Stephen Greer actually does that. He takes people out into isolated places, and they all meditate together and put out that thought. And he has had some amazing sightings. So he actually vectors them in.
Later I thought about Mary's advice on how to vector in the aliens. And maybe it was just the 42-degree hot pool at the Polynesian spa. Or maybe I had really opened myself up. But that night, strange lights did appear over Rotorua. They were beautiful, mesmerising lights, and they seemed to beckon me, perhaps to a better future. A future of star kids and probes, indigos and rainbows. Actually, it was just the graviton down at the amusement park. But later in the hotel, I did learn to read with my feet. Oh, I didn't know Jackie Brown was a hermaphrodite.
Still to come, New Zealand's greatest PR disasters, and the F word, the C word, tits, cocks and balls, in tonight's sealed section.